sends me to the beat. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love. A melody where I belong in this life.
Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hat Show. Obviously, it's been a while. It's been a week. Obviously, recently before that, we'd been doing it during the midweek, but obviously we didn't have a midweek game. Obviously we're here to talk about West Brom. We won't go over it for too long because obviously, it wasn't obviously the greatest of games. Obviously, I'll take the point in that. But yeah, obviously not a lot happened. And then obviously we'll get into the big one tomorrow. Fan-made derby over the years, got a lot of history to it. So yeah, and like always, I'm here with my dad. How are you, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's good to be talking about Luton again. Obviously, it's been a week. But yeah, other than that, I'm all right. Big up Lewis. You already know who Lewis is. You lot in the chat, you know what I mean? The guy who sends the mad super chats out here. Big up yourself, mate. He says evening. And then big up Stephen as well, who always big up. He's always been on the stream since he's found the channel or even videos. So big up to him. He says big up Ty. He also says big up to you, Dad.
Yeah.
Big up Jackie as well. Says evening. And then big up my G, Hanno. Come on. You already know. Big up yourself, mate. But yeah, like I said, we're just going to get straight into the player ratings because then we can sort of analyse people's performance there, sort of thing. Like I say, we won't analyse it like we usually do, but, we'll say our ratings for literally everyone because it is literally the same for everyone in our opinion. And then we'll say who our man of the match is and why. So we've given everyone a standard 6, haven't we, Dad?
Yeah. Like it was, it wasn't a memorable game. You get games like that now and again. It was just like dull. No one done anything particularly wrong, but then no one done anything brilliant either. And like, it was almost as if like we were happy to get a point in the. Do you know what I mean? Although at times I thought we looked better than them, but a lot of it was down to they just didn't want to play because of the manager, and it just becomes scrappy and this, that, and the other. So no one really stood out that much for me. So I just felt that there's no point. We're just going to giving everyone a 6 or 6.5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be the same, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it for that. It's one of them games that you get them every now and again,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said in the match reaction I've done, I'll definitely take the point. They're in a false position. They do still have very good players. Obviously, like I said on the match reaction, they made that change. I think it was near the end. I can't quite remember his name, but obviously the fans were booing because they didn't agree with it. And to be fair, he was probably their best player. Apologies, I can't remember his name, but yeah, it was one of them really. Man of the match contenders. Thinking about it, there is another person I'd put close to who I'd put as number one, but number one I'm going to go with Ethan, and I know you're the same on that. And for second place, very close, I'd probably go Sonny Bradley. I thought a lot of people were very critical.
Right, yeah. They're the only two players that kind of stood out for me. Bradley was quite immense, to be honest.
Other than his yellow card, I thought he was very good. I saw a lot of Luton fans very critical of his performance. They were saying he was just hoofing the ball up there, and I think he was pretty good.
That it probably looked worse because he's a defender at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Like normally the attacking players would be getting on the end of things like that, obviously, but he was just in the air. He was clearing everything, winning tackles. He stood out for me more than anyone. Thinking about it now, him and Horvath, he pulled off a decent save.
He got in team in a week from it as well.
Got a clean sheet. He's
another one added.
Solid, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's not about you've got to score goals and then you'll get remembered. And that's just doing the basics well compared to everyone else and things like that. And I felt like him and Bradley were doing that. Actually, I will give Bradley my man in the match. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'm the same with Ethan. He's my man in the match. Like I said, Sonny Bradley, very close for me. I'm getting it, but yeah, Ethan's got a 7 for me as well. I just, I really, like I said to you, when we briefly spoke about it after the game, I said when he made that save and he was like, telling the defender, I've got it, don't worry in that sense. I just really like that because, like I said, at times this season, what I've seen a lot of us do is not necessarily Ethan, it's more the outfield players at times, especially the games I've gone to live, where sometimes I see 2 players, the ball's very high up in the air, and I see 2 players trying to go for it at once, and it's like the communication, like what's going on in that sense.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you would have seen it as well when you watch it on the TV and that sort of thing. So I just really like that. And like you said, you made some good saves, got in team of the week. To be fair, I thought their goalkeeper, obviously Palmer, who was out on loan at us last season, I thought he had a decent game as well.
Yeah.
And I thought both keepers were good. So yeah, but the game wasn't, the greatest, especially in that second half. I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here actually watching it by myself, and I was just like, I was actually keeping my eye on other games because, I just felt not a lot was really gonna happen, based on that second half.
I feel it was going to be a 0-0.
Yeah,
it was. In a while, he was like, "Nah, this is just going to finish like that." But the positives are 5th game unbeaten. Another clean sheet on the road. I think that might even be 3 games away, or 4 that have kept clean sheets or whatever. And are unbeaten as well, I think. But, again, I always go back to it. Before pre-Nathan Jones, or like not even pre-Nathan Jones, but a couple of seasons ago, we probably would have lost that. 1-0 or whatever, but no, no one was really in control of that game. I just feel like it just became too scrappy, and we didn't know what to expect for them. It was just one of them, But I expect a much better performance tomorrow.
100%, especially with how it's been against QPR in previous times. But yeah, I just looked. So the last 2 away games we haven't conceded, which has obviously been Hull and now West Brom. We've actually had a lot of games at home already this season. Just looking at it right now, because our last away game before Hull was Cardiff, which was obviously that midweek game, which felt like quite a while ago to me. I'm not sure if you're the same, but it did feel like it's been a while since it's been that game. But yeah, it's one of them. But yeah, we'll move on. But obviously I'll go through the comments before. Big up everyone in the chat, of course, like always. Big up Lennon. Been on the channel a few times, not properly, but obviously in the chat. MK Don's fan says, "Yo, 2-0 Plymouth tomorrow." So he's not really confident. I think they lost during the midweek, didn't they? I don't really tend to look at the lower leagues, but I heard they were 1-0 down. I know that for sure.
I think they're struggling a bit this season.
Yeah, I think they had a deep. From what I'm, like I said, I don't watch them week in, week out, but from what I heard, they had a decent start, and then it just seems to go off. Oh no, it's changed it 3-0 Plymouth, flipping hell, and they're doing all right, to be fair, Plymouth, from what I know. But yeah, Bradley was calm and collected. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought a lot of people were very, very critical, to be fair. Horvath team of the week deserved. Absolutely. For me personally, I think it was, I didn't watch the other championship games, but I would have said him or their goalkeeper, because I did think their goalkeeper was pretty good, to be fair.
Well, there's also talk as well that he... Jones was talking about him, saying the same, about how we don't like loans. And, if there's potential that we could, sign him up at the end of the season or whatever, then that's what he'd be looking to do. And if he carries on, he hasn't been outstanding, but Sluga was like that. But then Sluga's kind of like had a lot of mistakes in him as well. Yeah, he's pulling off all these goods. Do you know what I mean? But I'd rather have someone steady and then build up to get his confidence. You know what I mean? he's everyone he's got good saves in him. Like you said, when he played against Liverpool, when he was at Forest, he done really well. And I think he kept quite a few clean sheets when he stood in for the Samba.
He did.
And personally, I don't think he's going to go back to Nottingham Forest anyway. The way they're going on. They'll see him as surplus to requirements, unless he just pulls out a standing save after save after save. He goes to the World Cup. He starts for, do you know what I mean, and all that. But then, if we look after him and he likes playing for us, then he probably will sign for us. But it'd be interesting to see what people think about that as well.
Yeah. Arno said, just going to listen, not going to comment much. No, that's not a problem, mate. We appreciate you tuning in. And then regarding this, there would have been a deal in place prior to this loan.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, no, hopefully, absolutely. Because I really like Ethan, what I've seen of him so far. I think, he's very, I don't know, like we said in the last episode, you've seen a lot of people criticising him for, not coming out to stuff. But I think he's come out plenty of times and looked really good. I remember loads of times
he comes out when he's confident enough to come out, and he normally collects it or punches it or does what he needs to do. I don't want someone who's just going to come out every cross and then fucking fluff half of them and or 2 out of fucking 4. You know what I mean? You want someone.
And the thing is, the ones that he is coming out to are the ones he should be more coming out to. Like corners, he shouldn't have to be always coming out to them, because that's the main ones people are talking about.
But also, like, you don't know what tactics have been set up. Obviously, we're not. Nathan Jones tells them any outfield player, to get rid of it. That's why you see the likes of Adebayo clearing it and getting their head on it and that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what he's saying. He doesn't want the keeper to have to be 50-50 on a decision. That's what's going on there, I think. It's not all about that. Like, a lot of keepers in the Premier League don't come out.
That's facts. But yeah, for me, like I say, I always, I remember the amount of player ratings we've done this season, and I said, one of the main things I say pretty much every performance about him is the way he comes out and claims the ball. So for me, it's one of them where I think people are being a little bit too harsh. Like I say, corners, like sometimes the defenders should be doing their job anyway. A lot of corners that we've conceded, especially in a game like Huddersfield, for example, is people not marking. You can't blame him for that. That's not his job. So, and if anything, when he is being marked, someone else has got to be helping him there. So that's what I've got to say about it. Big up Wolf. He says, "Hey Tyler," and Tyler's dad. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. But that's enough said about that West Brom game. But yeah, like I said, we'll take the point. They're in a false position. Like my dad said, remain with a clean sheet. That's 2 away games now with a clean sheet as well. So yeah, it's one of them. But obviously on to the game tomorrow, another home game, and that's obviously against QPR, a team who we haven't actually managed to unfortunately beat since 2007. I remember the game last year. Obviously, I did a watch along to it. Ended up being 2-1 to them. I still stand by what I say to this day. They should have not got out of Kenilworth Road with the 3 points. I just don't know how that goal stood from the corner. I don't know how that wasn't a foul on Shea still to this day. Obviously, they're doing very well at this current moment in time. Obviously, in the league, they're third. Did watch their last game because obviously that was the Friday night game on TV. Up against Reading, and I actually got the score prediction right there. I said 2-1, and they did deserve to win that game, especially with the turnaround they had in the second half. They should have had a penalty in the first half. Can't believe that wasn't a penalty. It was ridiculous. But yeah, Reading took the lead. Obviously Andy Carroll, and they had a penalty. He took it well. He was trying to annoy the fans and the players that game. You could tell. But they brung it back. And they got a penalty of their own in the second half, and obviously won the game through that. Obviously, the first goal they got was a diving header. Obviously, our last game is obviously West Brom, like we mentioned. Obviously, standings. Obviously, currently we, obviously on 18 points, I believe it is. They're third, like I said. It's mad at the top at the moment. Even behind, but at the top, you've got 3 teams on the joint, same points, which is obviously Sheffield United, Norwich and QPR, and Sheffield United and Norwich. Obviously, both losing last week, which was a shock to a lot of people. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one here. But yeah, Dad, talk to me. How are you feeling going into this game?
I'm the hoodoo against them. I'm not, we should have beat them last season, really. I feel this season we're better equipped anyway. I do think they're a good footballing team. They have got some good players, and now it seems like they've got a half decent manager as well. And I always feel that they're dark horses to get promoted anyway. And I do actually believe that they will get into the playoffs. But you know what? Like a lot of pundits and that already right. Yeah, this is going to be an easy win for QPR. They're on fire. They're the form team. Away, they're really good. But I think we're going to give them a good game. I personally think it can go either way, and that there will be a few goals. There has been a few games like that in the past. It is a rivalry. Probably just as much, well, not just as much as Watford, but it ain't far behind. There is definitely a rivalry there. We're due to, I think, only one game. Was it last season? There was crowds, weren't there? But before that, the other 2 games in the Championship or whatever, it was behind closed doors. I feel confident enough that we're going to give a decent performance. I know they're a good side, but I think it could be, it's going to be a pretty decent game. I just think it could go either way. I'm not, that I know they're a good side, but we've put in good performances against better teams already. Well, so-called better teams or decent already this season. And, but we beat Blackburn at home, didn't we?
Yeah, 2-0, yeah.
We are good at home. This should be one of the crowd are going to be on it as well. This is,
12:30 kickoff as well.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a good game, but I'm feeling. I'd just be more concerned about the performance. Do you know what I mean? Like if we lose, we lose. Do you know what I mean? But I just want to see it, give them a good game. And I think we will, and I think we're quite capable of beating them. So don't everyone like writing us off. Apparently, look at Norwich and Sheffield United last week.
Exactly, like I said, yeah.
So it definitely happened, and we're better than Preston. And who did Sheffield United used to?
Stoke, actually, 3-1.
Do you know what I mean? And Blackburn started the season off well, didn't they? And then, so
a lot of teams did. We could name it forever, but obviously we won't do that.
And we're quite capable of beating them. So I'm just looking forward to it because I think it will be a good game. So obviously last season they had Andre Gray as well. I know about that guy. And it was frustrating because they played absolute crap. And their defence ain't that as good as,
No.
I've seen it. They score a lot of goals, but we've got the potential to score a lot of goals as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
After the last game, it's got to be better than that.
Yeah. No, exactly. Especially, at home. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot to it anyway. It is a derby. Being quite a lot. Obviously, it's gone on in the recent years, and playing them, and that sort of thing. How am I feeling going into it? I'm a bit 50-50, to be honest. I'm a bit 50-50. And, we can definitely go at them and make it a really good game. And I agree with you. I think it will be a very good game, partly because, like I said, it is a derby. I also feel, just Nathan Jones is proper up for it. Did you see his interview, by the way, coming
No,
up?
I haven't. Yeah.
He was saying, he likes the early kickoffs and that sort of thing. And he also, this is the main standout thing, and they even put it on the Instagram. He said, we're up for changing records. We haven't got a good record against QPR, and that needs to change. So that gives me a bit of positivity as
We've done
well.
it before as well. We've done it before.
Yeah, we can do it. I always mention the Millwall one, when we talk about stuff like this last season where we didn't beat them at their ground since 1999, and then we beat them. But I just know what happens against QPR sometimes. Like, I'm not even trying to sound salty, but just games like last year where blatant foul and they actually got away with it. It just annoys me in that sense. They are a very good team. They've got some very good players. Chair, he's a player I rate. He's still there now.
Yeah, he's
He
Premier League
signed
quality.
the deal to like 2025.
Yeah, well, he's Premier League quality, mate. And if they do go up, then a lot of it will be down to him. They have got other good players, but he stands out. But I think normally we handle him quite well. It's just they're strikers that we seem to have the issues.
Yeah, I remember. I'm pretty sure Charlie Austin scored last year. Obviously, he's not there now though. But yeah, they've got good players
because he always scored. He used to score against us all the time. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like I said, they do have good players, but yeah, it's just one of them. I even remember the away game, and to be fair, the away one they definitely deserved to win that. We was just poor in the final third. The amount of shots that went flipping, they just weren't good. But yeah, it's just I know what happens at home when we play these lot most of the time. In that sense. Obviously Willock as well, but I believe he's out. I'm pretty sure that he's out. Stephen says Willock in the chat, but I'm pretty sure he's actually out. When I had a little look earlier, obviously I was checking who's available on that for them. Yeah, he's actually out. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, like I said, I'm a bit 50-50 going into this one in that sense. So yeah, it's one of them, but. Yeah, what we'll move on to now is obviously the lineups. So let me just get that up real quick. There we go. So obviously as it is on here, 5-2-1-2. That's what I'm going to go with. That's what we will go with most likely, of course. Ethan in goal, obviously. I'm just trying to think any players potentially, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go. I'll probably go Lockyer. Didn't think it was the greatest of performances from him in the last game, but then again, it was one of them. At least we didn't concede in that sense. The left side, I'm going to go with Potts, who he deserves to keep his place. And to be fair, he was quite unlucky against West Brom as well. Obviously, had that header cleared off the line. Had another good chance as well. Just remembered that. The centre, obviously, I'm going to go with Bradley, of course, especially after that last performance. Left wing back, I'm going to put Bell back into the swing of things. We've had a week off. In that sense, so I'm going to go with Bell. Where is he? There he is. Right wing back, obviously going to go Bree. And the midfield, I'm going to go with Campbell, obviously. That's obvious. Where is he? There he is. And then I'm going to go... You got options here. You could put Lansbury. You could put Ruddock. Who else could you put? There is more options. They're the main two for me. I'm going to go... I'll go Lansbury. For this one. again, similar to Bell in the sense where, you know, I've had a week off. Cam, I'm gonna go Clark. Again, it's similar for me. Freeman, I don't know if it'll be in the side. He should maybe be by now, but we'll see. I'll go with Clark. Clark's been good as well. And then up front, yeah, obviously Morris. You know, that's. I'll probably go with what it has been in recent weeks, to be honest, which is obviously Morris and Elijah. You know, he had a decent chance, you know, deflection, but the best chance we had in the second half, and obviously the keeper saved it. But yeah, I feel I would go with that lineup. So I'm pretty sure that is literally the same lineup. In fact, yeah, it is the same lineup against West Brom. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. Dad, would you make any changes?
No, I don't think so. You know, I mean, Bradley's definitely going to start. Osho's meant to be back from injury, but I can't see him starting. Jerome, again, he'll be on the bench. Strikers, I feel we've got to go the same. Midfields, Bell and Bree, you know, goes without saying again. Midfield, this is where I think the game, you know, could be potentially won. So, you know, there could be a few changes in there. But for me, Clark, you know, he's a good footballer. You know, he's like, you know, our chair, if that makes sense. Campbell, you've got to have him. He hasn't, his performance levels dropped off slightly, I reckon, but, you know, you've got to have him in there. But I potentially, and I think Lansbury's done all right, I'd be tempted to start Ruddock for this game.
I was thinking that
energy, that extra energy in midfield. Can always take him off at half time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's possibly the only change I would make. He might change up the midfield. He might even, you know, because I think that's where the game's going to be difficult because they've got decent midfields.
Yeah, they do.
Players, you know, but you know, so. But other than that, yeah, unless anyone's injured or pulls up, you know, you're going to stop. Potts has got that position now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see what happens if he gets injured, though.
Yeah, true. Touch wood, that doesn't happen, but yeah.
But it will be interesting. Everyone else, you know, what we didn't play midweek. Everyone should be like sort of rested and that. The only thing, like I said, the midfield potentially could be changed. Might be a formation change, but I'd probably take Lansbury out and put Ruddock in for. I just feel like, you know, he's easing him back in, and we want to see that energy from him in midfield. I do feel that we have missed it this season. I know people slate him and stuff, but you know, he always had that energy and, you know, tracking players and, you know, fighting to win the ball and just, but you know, pushing forward. I think we need that a bit more. You know, Freeman might even start instead of Clark as well.
Yeah, like I said when I've done that one, I'm just not sure. You know, I just got that feeling that he's, you know, I try and do it based on who I know is most likely going to be available.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember the Coventry game a couple of weeks ago. Was it? I think it's Coventry or it's Huddersfield. It was one of the midweek games, and he weren't in the lineup in the end. Like I said, he should. I would think he should be getting closer if he's not, you know, still in the lineup. But yeah, it's one of them for me. And Clark's been good, so I'll keep him in. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, there we go. Stephen says Woodrow out till after World Cup break. Apparently, it's the first I've heard of that. Flipping hell, man. That's a bit gutting.
You know, luckily we've got cover.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, imagine if that was last year with, well, it was at, you know, towards the end, but it wasn't too bad as it could have been. But Elijah, Imagine if that was similar this season. So it's good that we've got the depth, obviously, in that sense now. Of course, it's that time, Dad. Score predictions. How do you see this one going?
I've just got a feeling it's going to be, both teams will score. I feel, there's a defensive error in both teams. I'm going to go 3-2 Luton.
Jeez, you reckon there'll be goals like that, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. That would be a great game, honestly. But yeah, no, fair enough. My score prediction, just before I say mine, I'll be releasing my championship predictions very shortly after this, putting them on the community posts. But I reckon it will be a draw. I agree with you in the sense where I think both teams definitely can be gotten at and will concede in that sense. Yeah, I've just got a feeling it's going to be a 1-1. I've got a feeling it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And, I would take that. I would take that because, the position they're in, I think that'd be a good point. I think it'd be one of them if we do get back into the playoffs, which we believe we will do come the end of the season. I think that'd be a good point to look back on, especially with how good they're doing. And like you said, this could be the year where they get in the playoffs this time because they're usually in and around, but they always tend to drop out. Obviously, last season it was because injuries. They didn't, bring anyone in emergency wise like we did, and etc. So, yeah, I'm going to go over 1-1 for this game. Goal scorers, Dad?
Morris. Ruddock.
That would be boss.
And Potts.
Fair enough. Nice. That would be a very different collection, but they've all done it before. So Ruddock banger. Is that a Ruddock banger? That's what he tends to score when he scores.
Yeah, I think it could be a Ruddock banger, and I think Potts. He's been close. He's getting closer. I just think.
Yeah, he was quite unlucky against West Brom, like I said earlier.
And yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Fair enough. And then Morris to get back on the scoring again. As for me, I reckon Elijah's going to score. I've got a feeling he's going to score. I reckon he'll score. Just get another one for this season, and then I'll just do their goal scorer. Probably Chair. Even though we tend to do all right against him, I've just got a feeling he'll score from like outside the box or something like that. From like a second ball and 1-1. I reckon it will be. But let's go through the comments to see what people are saying. Big up British chat. He says, whoa. He says 2-1 QPR for me, sadly, but fingers crossed. No, absolutely. And I know you're going to the games, enjoy it. Same to everyone else. Wolf says 4-0 Luton. That'd be brilliant. Especially that it's a derby as well. Very bold, says Stephen.
Yeah.
Goals galore. I mean, it does have a very good possibility because I'm like you. I generally think both defences can be gotten at. It's a derby as well. Form tends to go out the window. But I just look at it with the games we've had with QPR and it's just the ones I've seen have not been overly great. 1-1, Jackie's gone with the same as me. Big up Chris as well. He says, oi, boys.
Big up Chris.
Boring draw from Tyler. Nah, I didn't go over 0-0. A definition of a bore draw was the last game we had. No, I do think it will be end to end. I do. Or I think it might be one where one team has a good spell for a while, then the other one has a good spell. Them sort of games. I reckon it could be like that sort of thing. So, yeah. Elijah, is that who you reckon will score? Lots of YouTube predictors have gone draw. Fair enough. He's magic, But yeah, there you go, people. There are predictions and previews to the QPR game. Obviously, a short reaction to West Brom. It's obviously the score that it was. And And yeah, I think they only announced recently that the game is on the red button. And obviously, I'm not going to it tomorrow, so I'm going to do a watch along. Also, I'll be doing a watch along to the game on Tuesday as well against Norwich. Anything about red button, I'll probably be trying to look at the TV more because obviously no replays and that sort of thing. But I'll make sure I can do it. Well, I can always see when a comment pops up in the corner of my eye, so I'll be on job with that. Lewis has gone end to end, but he reckons it will end up being 0-0.
No chance.
There you go. No chance in hell, like Vince McMahon settings. That's what my dad's saying out here. And Hanno's obviously saying what you said earlier, Dad. Luton are good against the big teams so far this season. We are. You know, you look at the teams. Obviously, we haven't played Norwich yet. We're playing them midweek. But like Sheffield United, they're obviously joint top. 1-1 draw against them. Controversy on the goal they got as well. We've all got our different opinions on that. So it's one of them. You know, we're at home. We've played a lot of games. Like I said, I didn't realise how many games we've actually played at home, this season already. It's another one. It's a derby. There's a lot to it. So maybe a Luton win. There will be goals. Yeah, no, I think, even though I've said 1-1, which is obviously only 2 goals, I just think it'll be very end-to-end, and there'll be chances to get more. Like, they'll be like, mad. Someone will clear a shot off the line or something. That's what I can see. And we've done that a few times this season. So, yeah, big up Blue Terrier in the chat as well. It says, yo, big up yourself, mate. Hanno's gone 2-0 QPR. Dun, 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 dun. Gutted. Like I said, I always say it when, I'll just be very surprised if we don't score at home. Last time we didn't do that was obviously Preston. But, it was a 1-0. It was tight and they scored a very good goal. But, yeah, it was just one of them. Blue Terrier's going 1-1. Obviously, Huddersfield fan. I was about to tell you what I'll say for your game, but my predictions will be out very shortly. Because obviously they play at the same time. Boo, Hanno. But yeah, that is episode 63 of the Hatter Show done. We'll be back. I'm not too sure when. Obviously, we're playing Tuesday, so yeah, maybe Monday, I guess. Yeah, probably Monday to obviously talk about the Norwich game and obviously talk about this game. But yeah, like I said, I'll be back again with a watch along tomorrow. Like I said, I think it's only recently they put it on the red button. So yeah, I will be doing a watch along to it. So yeah, please tune in if you're not going, and you can, of course. Dad, you got any final thoughts? Anything else you would like to say?
Yeah, just keep the faith. This is what we need. We need a good atmosphere tomorrow if you are going, or if anyone's going. What shit out loud and proud, innit? Because that's what's gonna help us, and that's what helped us a lot last season. We're quite capable of beating QPR, so let's see what happens tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, yeah, there you go. That is that. So, yeah, don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Share the channel as well. And what I'll probably do, I'll probably schedule the stream in a bit because obviously it's early kickoff. I like to, when it's them ones, I like to schedule them probably a night before. And I'll be putting my Championship predictions up. So yeah, keep an eye on them on the community posts and that sort of thing. And yeah, share the channel, turn on the notification bell as well so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. Subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV. Extra, Hanno uploaded a clip the other day when Lewis sent that crazy super chat. Do you know what I mean? It was mad. But yeah, all of that. And then if you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are also in the description. And Jackie says, let's hope we hammer them. Oh, that would be brilliant. Big up Ty, Daz, and Chat. Peace. See you in a bit, mate. And yeah, until next time. I will see you lot. We will see you lot, sorry, in a bit. So yeah, take care and peace.